Only when you master strategy and become one with the void can you then be truly undefeatable. Hello, and welcome to the Long Hop Cricket Podcast. Today we will be covering the first test match of 5 between England and India. Along with me to do this coverage is David. How you doing, mate?
Good, mate. How are you? You've just come back off holiday?
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
How was your holes?
It was nice. It's good, mate. Get away from the podcast. Just relax a bit.
Well, sometimes you
come back. You just got to get away from work for a while. Sometimes,
come back recharged, don't you?
Exactly. I'm back now. I'm ready.
Sometimes you just need, even though it's like a.
It's nice to spend the income as well.
Debatable time to go away, isn't it? Really, when peak season, but sometimes you need to get away, don't you?
Yeah, sorry about
Luckily,
that.
you have like such a
We're
supportive
learning.
business partner like me.
We're
allows you to
learning.
do that. While you were away, I released the spinning podcast.
Oh yeah,
That was like months old,
uh-huh.
and that's got one of my favourite ever intros on it.
What was it?
It's got the
Whose was it?
It's well, we did it together.
It was me.
And it was the rules in a knife fight? No rules.
Who was it?
But I messed it up at the start. I didn't know that podcast had comments on it and also we did comment. It was an hour-long podcast, so we just sat there.
Oh, right. Well.
And we put it out. And we put out 2018 Cricket Captain episode.
Yeah.
And
where you just bully me because you're in charge of the editing, so it's hard for me to stick up for myself.
What?
But yeah, no, it's good.
If you
What?
make a mistake, and I made mistakes on that very episode, you get punished, don't you?
No, fair enough.
Anyway, would you like to hear some news?
I'd love to.
What was
cricket news, mate?
What was the cricket situation in Croatia? Anything?
I didn't see anything to do with anything crickety.
What's there?
In fact, I didn't see. Oh,
did you see any sports?
Yes.
Football?
No. Stadiums I saw to this sport. Floodlit.
Football stadiums?
No.
What were they? Rugby?
No. It's a weird one. They wear the hats.
Kabaddi?
No, that's India. They wear the hats when they...
Polo?
Water polo.
Water polo.
Floodlit stadiums. Water polo. They love it.
Do they?
They absolutely love it. Yeah, water polo. So there you go, mate.
Well,
that's all the sport I saw when I was there.
A lovely story, and we're about to go to a bit of a horrible one, I'm afraid. The first story, which is on everybody's minds, is the drama that's being brought up again about Ben Stokes and his antics in a Bristol nightclub, well, just outside, with now more than just the 2 people we originally thought. Right. There's lots more people involved. There's England players who are watching on. Basically, what's been happening is there is now a lot more evidence. Excuse me. A lot more evidence of witness accounts that have come out and said this is what happened. So that's obviously all going through in court at the moment, and the BBC News headline is Ben Stokes spiteful and angry to bounce before nightclub fight. So with the most recent evidence, you call it evidence when it's not? Yeah, you can call it. It's evidence of the prosecutor, isn't it? Not the defence. You still call it evidence even though you don't know it's true yet, don't you? Or what do you call
evidence is trying to prove something.
Okay, that's evidence.
Yeah.
So this is evidence, right?
Like a bloody fingerprint would be evidence.
Witness accounts is evidence, yeah?
I guess. Probably not, but yeah, go on.
Witness accounts the best thing to say in that scenario?
Well, we're not under thing, it doesn't matter. But go on, what are you saying?
Well, allegedly.
Right? Yeah, that's it.
Ben Stokes is not being painted in the best pictures of the last few days or things come out.
No. I mean, the
Sounds
video
like
didn't look that great to you, to be honest. Unless you're going on martial arts technique. The video didn't paint him that great a light.
Things aren't really adding up for him, are they? They're not in a positive light. He's looking. No. He's staring on the barrel of a gun.
Yeah, he figured out how to bowl full again, but apart from that, it's not looking great for him.
and he will miss the next game. We'll get on.
As he should.
We'll get onto that. Cricket should consider shot clock, speed at play. So the MCC committee.
Shot clock. What? People taking too long to play their shots.
The MCC World Cricket Committee, an independent panel that can propose changes to the sport law, said it was concerned at the declining over rates.
They did it in golf.
A shot clock probably seems a little extreme, but the rates have declined, said the panel's Ricky Ponting.
They did it in golf. It's interesting, and this overlaps.
Yeah,
but they had a major problem with pros taking way too long to take their
I imagine,
shots, right?
yeah. I imagine that's hard to watch.
And there was recently a tournament where they had a 30-second clock. So when you got to the golf ball, you had 30 seconds to play your shot.
Well, it sounds like the MCC is something really similar. At the end of an over, the fielders and the bowlers have to be in a position and ready to bowl by a certain time, and that's non-negotiable. So it sounds like if they're going to enforce that, they're going to put a massive clock up, aren't they, and say...
I think that would be good. I've got no problem with it.
I've got no respect for slow over rates.
No.
I hate
Get it done.
Hate it.
Yeah, no problem with that at all.
So, we have got a New England team to play
Yes.
in the second
There's
test.
some considerable changes.
So, David Milan is dropped.
I mean, should we do the first test first? Because there are changes to that, weren't there? Did we cover that?
No, we didn't cover Curran, did we? Do you want to do... Shall we just say who's in and then we'll talk about it at the end of the podcast?
That's what I'm saying.
Like a news bulletin.
We'll do
Do you want to just say Pope and Wokes in?
the goalkeeper.
Pope and Wokes in. Milan, Stokes out.
Joe Hart.
Burnley.
Yeah, with Pope. But yeah, all the news you want here.
Listen. Jimmy Anderson turns 36.
1,000 not out. You got 1,000.
Probably Ben Stokes is on a roll, isn't he? Right, anyway, do you want to get straight into the game?
Yes, please.
We're a little bit late on this game, but it was such a good game.
Well, jet setting, sometimes it takes a while.
But when
to
you're
meet
over
up.
in Croatia and trying to set up business deals,
Yes.
these things have to just take the back burner.
Exactly.
Like, wait until Modric sponsors us,
Well, Inter Milan.
I actually would like a Croatian kit. They were
That's
nice.
the only one they sell, is Modric.
Really?
Yeah.
No Rakitic?
They're all over. No. They're all over the. It's all Modric.
I'm close to my hair growing to like the Modric level as well, so I'm pretty close with that.
Face reveals. I could be Owen Wilson, and you could be Modric.
Yes. That's what we would do if we were ever to animate this.
Ew, you'd look like Modric.
Just so that the great big honk of a nose.
That would be a bit harsh.
On
With your,
me or Modric?
On you.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Sorry, mate. I got your back.
I'm trying to find the scorecard.
Oh, don't worry, just take your time. People like the podcast.
People like the long pauses.
They're
here
a
to
pause.
stay.
I mean, people want us to do like a peep show podcast about our lives, so they don't mind us not talking about cricket for a few seconds.
Which I've actually been thinking about this second podcast.
Oh yeah,
I'll talk about it like another time.
at the end. Let's talk about it.
Anyway.
At the end.
First test at Edgbaston.
Yeah, cracking venue if I don't say so myself.
Well, what do you think? What do you make of first test not at Lords? It's not a big
I
deal,
don't
is it?
mind. I like to have
A
as
test
long
match
as they,
at Lords. Yeah.
But I don't mind if it's not the first.
Do you think every touring team should play at Lords?
No, but I think
No.
but I think that if they haven't done before, they should.
Well, every team has
They don't
played at
have
Lords,
to.
you know.
They don't have to. But if they haven't, then they should. If that makes sense. But I don't mind if they don't for a series.
But like every team has played at Lords. Every international team, haven't they?
Well, but not new ones might not have, because they're getting new ones, aren't they?
Well, like Ireland. And
Yeah, or
Afghanistan.
Scotland.
Yeah,
or
of
something
course.
Eventually, when they or Afghanistan and stuff
I think
like that.
I'm quite one for every test. Every
I would like
series.
to, but it wouldn't massively bother me if they. I think the Ashes has to.
But then I think it's like we owe. I'm not. It'd be nice. It's not. I think
It's bigger than Wembley, isn't it?
yeah.
It's bigger than Wembley.
As in, it's
It's
status
yeah.
rather status.
Status.
It's status rather than
Math.
its rather than its capacity. But I think it's one that touring teams would want to come and play at. Like who wants to play at Cardiff? You know, who wants to play at?
Yeah, that's a good point.
In, like, even though Cardiff and like Trent Bridge and whatnot are brilliant stadiums,
Trent Bridge. Is it Trent? Oh, sorry.
and
You said Stamford Bridge. I got confused. I was thinking about football.
I think every team should play at Lords during a series,
Yeah.
even if it's too much series. Play both of them at Lords.
I would like a 5-1 at Lords and just play on the same pitch. Think of that.
Yeah,
That's an interesting idea, isn't it?
we do become dangerous from that.
No,
Yeah,
not if they made a rock hard batting pitch and just see how it did over 5 tests.
Anyway, do you want to
And you can't change your team.
So Milan's in there
Well,
for good.
would you take a spinner?
You might have to, yeah. If you can't. I think
Would you take 2? They're going to be pretty useless in the first test, but it's going to be down to the bat in the first test anyway, and even possibly the
Do
second.
you know what I'm saying?
But the third, fourth, and fifth, the spinners are going to come right into it.
Timeless test as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way the game should be played, right?
Yeah. Do you want to go through the teams, mate?
We don't do that enough on this podcast. We honestly don't.
What, go through the teams?
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
What do you mean?
Well,
We go through the team every time.
Yeah, but sometimes I forget, and I feel when I listen back to it, I feel guilty. I haven't given the guys what they need.
There's quite a few of those that I wouldn't have in that team.
So they've started off with Cookie and Jennings. Jennings stays. Wouldn't we speak about
Stays
this?
in the headlights.
We did speak about this previously. The big. I'm not going through everyone. The big 2 is Adil Rashid. There's a lot of chat about Rashid on Mo.
Yeah.
We've gone with Adil
Rashid.
Rashid, and counties kicked off.
Well,
Well,
as they
Yorkshire
should.
did. Michael Vaughan kicked off. People kicked. But you had a. What you said was on the previous podcast was he say he wasn't going to play for England. He
Did
only
he
said
not?
he's just going to play. He doesn't want to play football,
Oh,
4-day
right.
cricket
Yeah.
for Yorkshire.
But I think if you pick him, you're setting a bad precedent then, aren't you?
I think
Going,
you're-
well,
I
don't
think-
bother playing
I don't think
4-day game for your county. We're just going to pick you whatever.
Yeah, I don't think
They did it with Butler. They've done it with Rashid.
Thing is, Butler never did say, "I'm not going to play football cricket." He was away,
But, right,
whatnot.
but he doesn't need to say it, does he? He's not playing it.
because he's away.
He's just
IPL
going
and
around
whatnot.
smashing it everywhere.
Adil Rashid's in a different class. As in, that's a different scenario because he's actually come out and said, "I don't want to play," and they've still. It's not treating counties as the way that they should be treated. There's no loyalty to the county game with that selection, is there?
Is the old Leacher still injured? Is he? What's the
He
deal?
played against Worcester in their most recent 4-day stuff, and picked up. He
Are
picked
people
up,
just not? They
got
just
a few wickets.
the
But
ECB
he's-
just not convinced or something.
I think he's still like half injured, but like he's not fully fit.
Right.
Don Best was obviously had the. I don't know. Well, I'm not closing.
No,
the
no, no.
windows.
It's too hot. It's too hot. If you can hear it, get over it. I mean, it is too hot, isn't it?
It's too hot.
So we apologise about the road. You've got like one of these, you know, like you like on what was that thing where that bold bloke went round and watched people's houses being built, Grand Designs.
Yeah.
Dave lives in like a Grand Design flat where they like built it over a motorway. It's like a bridge tunnel
Yeah.
that kind of like goes in like a big like half dome.
It's like an old like military hangar, but like
Yeah.
flat version. Yeah.
But it does have a motorway going underneath it. So that when we have the windows open, you hear it. So apologies.
and the best thing is just like putting your head out there and just thinking about what life is.
Yeah,
Because the motorway is a metaphor for life.
that's true.
You can go
Isn't
as
it?
fast as you want, but how fast are you going to get to your destination?
Well, and you know, the slow.
This is what our podcast would be. If we had a podcast that wasn't cricket based, right? And look, we had we would have things to talk about, right? But we wouldn't tell people what we're going to talk about.
Read a cracking book on holiday. Do you want to talk
Did
about
you? Yeah. And this is what would happen. We would just spout.
that? Yeah.
But it would be a happy podcast, right? There's so many
I think
podcasts
I
out
think
there
it
that
would-
aren't happy.
Oh, I think it would get It would get glum.
We get what?
It would get down, I think.
No.
No?
But I mean, like, it might get down on us, but we would project it in a happy way.
Oh, right,
Like,
okay.
It'd be such a. You go through the App Store or the podcast store, or whatever,
Yeah.
or YouTube podcast.
Yeah.
So many podcasts are like okay, like I quite like like mental well-being, and I listen to a lot of
Yeah.
these podcasts, right? And like bettering yourself and whatnot. But they're pretty rough at times.
Yeah.
Like they're serious.
Yeah.
And like I love history podcasts.
Yeah.
They're serious.
Yeah.
You need two guys that you don't know what they're going to talk about. They just come and they just
What would you
spout
call
off
it,
happy
though?
stuff. Like it would be like I don't know, but I know what each episode would be called. Week 1, week 2. You wouldn't you wouldn't know what they put.
Yeah. I mean, I think we said this in the last episode.
Like
but-
we might even talk about the JFK shootings, but we wouldn't put it in the title. Do you know what I mean? No, it'd be a happy podcast, wouldn't it? It'd be happy. It'd be like, hey man, how was your holiday?
Yeah. Good England team. I don't mind it, really.
Yeah, let's
Milan
go,
at 4.
Should we get back to Rashid?
Is,
We
yeah, go
kind
on then.
glanced over that. Don Best was in that position for the previous test series against Pakistan, but obviously goes to Adil Rashid now.
I think he was picked for...
All
They
round.
didn't know who to pick.
Yeah, they
and
give it to
he
the next best.
Didn't do enough to keep it. He wasn't in the position where he just had to not lose it. I think he had to keep it, and he didn't do enough to do that. Scoring a 50 isn't enough to keep a position as a spinner.
No, taking wickets
is
is
it?
though, isn't it? I'm pleased it's not Mo and Ali.
Yeah, me too.
No offense to Mo,
Yeah.
but
Me too.
I'm pleased it's Adil Rashid. And to be honest with you, even though it is a backhander to the counties and it's a backhander to county players,
Yeah.
it's basically a slap in the face for those guys. It is an aggressive move. They've said, do you know what? We are still going to pick what we think is our most aggressive bowler, attacking bowler. The bowler's going to take the most wickets. We're going to pick them even though they're not in a position to be picked because they've said they don't want to play.
I don't know.
I think it's similar to the Joss Butler by saying, do you know what? We think Joss Butler's the best man for the job. Even though he's not playing 4-day stuff at the moment, we're still going to
Yeah,
pick him.
but Joss Butler was in incredible form. I don't think Rashid's shown the same sort of form as Butler did he?
Did well in the...
Because Butler just being aggressive wouldn't have got him in. He was scoring crazy runs.
Yeah, okay, fair
Rashid
enough.
hasn't
That's
been
fair
tearing it up, has he? I don't think he's done terribly, but nothing freakish.
enough. I actually quite like the appointment of Rashid. I actually think it's a good appointment, but I do think it's terribly disrespectful to the county scene and to a lot of bowlers out there that says... And is it disrespectful to the 4-day format? Because you're saying, do you know what, you can go and play T20 stuff.
I think it's
white ball
making
stuff.
selection confusing. If you're a young player now and you want to play Test match cricket for England,
It doesn't
you
matter.
just don't know what to do now, do you?
Yeah. Is that telling you the state of Test match cricket for England, though?
Because if you go, right, well, I'll just play as much cricket, so like 2020 as I can,
yeah.
and you take loads of wickets, the ECB can go, you're not playing but they can not pick you on the, well, you're not playing four-day cricket. You play 4-day cricket and do well, and Rashid goes and does well in the IPL, go, oh, he's got a proven thing, and he's taken wickets.
And remember, like 10 or 15 years ago,
I think you need to state what players need to do.
10 or 15 years ago, there was quite a rigid structure to selection. It was go and play for your counties. We'll blood you in the ODI squad, then you'll come into the Test squad because the Test was seen, and we were the best at tests.
I think it should be seen that way.
But it's almost like our ODI squad's so strong. It's the Test squad that needs to be that bringer in, if you like.
And ODIs have changed a lot.
Yes, yeah,
since
of
then
course.
as
Yeah.
well.
And Sam Curran is the next.
That's an interesting pick.
What do you reckon about Sam Curran? He
I
offers
would-
you
I-
something different.
Yeah, I would have picked his brother.
But does his brother offer you the
bit
same as
quicker,
everybody
isn't he?
else? Well, Sam Curran was bowling upwards of 85 miles. Well, not upwards. A maximum of 85 miles per hour during that Test match.
I
And
suppose.
Tom
It's not
probably
a
bowls
it's not-
something similar.
I think his brother's just the other side, isn't he? of 85?
I don't know.
Or just consistently quicker?
I think he's just in and around that 85 mark. I wouldn't say he's too quicker.
He's not that much quicker then.
No.
All right. Okay. Well, I don't
But
know enough
then
about
this
either
Sam
of them.
Curran bowling 85 was a bit of a surprise for everybody because we're used to him bowling 80, 81, 82.
Right. I thought so. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because when he played his first game, he was bowling that, and he didn't get smashed, but he didn't pick
Yeah.
up tons of wickets. But left armour
You like that?
adds something different. You
Does
know,
add something different.
out of the major test playing nations, I saw this stat on Sky Sports.
Right.
Apart from Zimbabwe and Bangladesh, maybe England are the only team who haven't got a left arm fast bowler to take more than 100 wickets or 100 wickets or more.
How many did Saidi get?
80 odd.
Oh. Saidi didn't have a very long England career,
No, he
did
didn't.
he?
He came in quite old, didn't he?
Shame.
Sam Curran was getting the ball to move as well.
Yeah, he did. He did get them
So he could potentially be a very, very strong
young,
player.
isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's like 20
Yeah, so he's got ages.
for English conditions.
Yeah.
And if he can add something to his game to say take it away from home, and potentially Jimmy Anderson. Okay, I am looking ahead and jumping the gun slightly.
Bit of a hype job here if you're not careful.
But I'm saying that Sam Curran could be a nice replacement for an opening bowler who could get the.
Yeah.
If there's going to be any
If he can
swing,
get the ball to shape.
he's probably going to be able to get it
Yes.
to move. And that left armour, bringing it into
Yeah.
the right-handers,
Something different.
might be good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Not a bad
let's move on to the
India.
India team.
Now,
I tell you what, we did big up the Indian batting liner, but after watching the game and hearing professional judgment, the players that they are picking, they all look very strong.
yeah.
That looks a strong batting lineup, but perhaps strong in ODI format rather than Test cricket.
Kohli's always been a 4. Is he or is he batted 3?
I
I'm
don't
trying to
know.
think.
I think he's a number 4, Aaron out 4.
Has
Kane
he always
Williamson's
been a 4?
3.
Or did we rip root
Steve-
because Kohli
No,
or mans
4.
up and goes 3?
No 4.
He's always been a 4, is he?
I think he bats 3 ODI and maybe opens in T20.
Oh, right, okay.
I could be wrong there.
Okay.
It could be the
no,
other way around.
I think he does. I think he is a 4. Okay. I was gonna say that.
But
he
if you
looked
look
like-
at Darwin, Vijay, Rahul, Kohli,
Yeah.
Rahan, even Karthik,
Yeah.
that's a very good
I mean,
ODI squad.
Ashwin has
Of a
come back.
handy batsman.
He's shown he
I
can bat.
absolutely love Ashwin. He's my favourite India player. The only player I like from the Indian squad. I know
It's
Rahul. I like
apart
Rahul. I like Rahul. I don't mind Darwin either. I just hate Kohli. Hate him. But if you look at that team, right?
No, I like it.
I think it'd be interesting to see how they do throughout the series.
Are we going to do comments at the end of this one?
No, we haven't got enough.
Okay, because people don't like him.
Who?
Or Indian fans, from what I've seen, aren't so sure about Kohli, they're not so sure about their batting lineup.
They're not
either.
so from what we've they're not sure about Kohli in English conditions,
Right.
and they're quite.
Because to
they're not-
me,
I'd
I'd have that batting lineup over ours.
yeah, well, I think that tells you the state of English Test cricket, though, doesn't it?
Do you think, I was thinking about this, do you think these two teams are two home teams,
Yes,
aren't they?
I think if you tell, and also I think these two teams, even though India are a good Test team, but the success both these. I might get slated for this.
Neither of them stand up to their home form, do they,
No.
when they move away?
And I think
I think that's what a real world
India out of the
class-
subcontinent, it's a problem.
That's
And
what
England
a-
in the
yeah,
subcontinent, it's a
true.
massive problem.
That's what a real world class team does, isn't it? Just plays well everywhere.
But I honestly think we have put this, me and you, put this glean on this India side because we're thinking about their ODI status rather than their
Maybe.
ODI.
We don't do that with the England one, do we?
No,
Although
because-
it's not a
but
similar
we
lineup.
know the
is it?
England team better than we know this Indian team.
Yeah, but
we
the
know
Indian
this
one's more similar to their ODI, whereas ours is a completely different team.
very true. Yeah.
So
Right. Let's go into
get into it. So who won the toss?
the toss was won by England, and they decided to bat first.
Okay.
And they made 287 all out in their first innings.
And before you see the rest of the game, you're thinking that's poor.
You're thinking that's at least 60, 70 runs
Yes.
below
Minimum.
par, at least.
Minimum.
Yeah. 350 kind of keeps you in the game, but you're thinking 287, you have to bowl well and really well. Let's look through this scorecard and pick out a few of the most memorable.
Cook, Jennings, bowled. That's not good for two openers.
No.
Getting bowled. Both openers getting bowled.
Let's talk about Cook's one. Cook got a good ball.
It was a peach. It's one of those ones where he gets bowled, and because your eyes don't keep up with it quick enough, or the frame rate of the cameras or something, it looks like he's covered all of the stumps and got bowled. And then when you watch it, the timing of the ball turning past the face of the bat and everything just lines up, so it looks like that. But it's a perfect ball.
I've seen some stats that say Cook's game against spin, he's getting balled a lot. So perhaps that's somewhere where he stood on the crease.
Well, he wasn't there. He got drawn forward, and it was too. He should have gone back. It was just too short to be going forward to, and it's turned past the bat
and beaten him.
Yeah. But it's a perfect ball. It's a perfect ball.
And at this stage, when Ashwin picked up that, because Ashwin came on in the 8th or 9th over or something, so it was really early in the game, and everyone was saying
they did that in the second as well.
Yeah.
Do you think they did that because of Cook?
No, everybody was saying that this. You got to remember, in England, for Indian fans who aren't in England or living in probably Europe at this stage, it's been baking hot here.
Yeah.
And it's been very, very little rain.
Yeah.
And the pitch was dry.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah.
And any moisture that was under there was like baked under there, you know. It was
and it'll have been put there, which sounds silly, but do you know what I mean? We don't usually have to water the pitch, do you know what I mean? So I think when this wicket was down, there were pros and journalists coming out saying, we need, Moeen Ali should have been playing, Jadeja should have been playing, there should be two spinners. Obviously that game doesn't back that up afterwards, but that was what happened after the Ashwin ball. If you're going to have a shout to bowl two spinners,
Jadeja and
this
Ashwin.
summer is the one you go for, because it's just been ripping hot for months.
And you said England isn't a bad place. If it is dry, England's a pretty good place to bowl spin.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessarily always slow spin in England. Like in India, it can be slow spin.
Yeah.
It can rip in England, can't it?
Yes.
And Jadeja and Ashwin, you're thinking I would, if I was India, I'd play Jadeja in my next game because I think you've got a better chance of knocking England over.
How many left-handers we got?
All of them. Every player that's ever played for England that's left-handed are in this team. So Cook, Jennings, Milan, Stokes, Sam Curran, left-handed? Yes, he is. And that's it.
Anderson.
Is he left-handed? Yeah, he is left-handed, yeah.
Is he left-handed?
Yeah. Broad's not left-handed, is he?
No.
And Moeen Ali is left-handed if he was to come in, and
so the off-spin's perfect because you're just ripping it away from him.
And I feel like if you had Jadeja and Ashwin, if they kept it tight against England, they would panic.
Be horrific.
Jennings gets a bit of an odd one, doesn't he? It kind of trickles all back and rolls on.
That is just what you don't need when you're trying to cement your spot. Because it just on the scorecard it says he's been bowled, but it's just like one of those freak ones where it gets a couple of bad bounces off your pads and goes onto the pegs.
And you've got to be gutted.
Never call it pegs.
That's I like that though. You got to be gutted for Jennings must be gutted because he's thinking, I just need one score here. Because
he's just been listening to the podcast. He's thinking, I just need to prove Owen wrong. I just need to score.
And
50s won't do it. I'm a hundreds man.
Well, we said
for Jennings, he needs hundreds and lots of them.
The whole team need 100. There's not one player that doesn't need 100. Maybe apart from Curran. We'll get on to that. Root 80 run out.
Yeah.
People are saying it's the Bairstow called him through.
I saw the scorecard when I was on holiday and I thought, I cannot believe that. I didn't see it. I didn't see the highlight. I just saw that he'd been run out. But watching the highlights, I've got no problem with that. It's a freak throw. He's picked it up and thrown it from past the inner ring.
He's too
and
there.
Then the guy stood on the stumps has just let it go. That's never happening. If the guy has to catch that ball, Joe Root makes it. He has to direct hit the stumps. He has to direct hit to run him out. And he doesn't do it.
I wasn't surprised.
If he had 100 more goes, he doesn't do it. You take that run.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You take 2 there?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Interesting. You got it. Joe Root must have hit. I'm not being gutted.
It would have been gutted.
He must have been being like, I just need to put this to bed. I could have got 3 tons on the trot. First one in Test matches for a while. Johnny Bairstow runs me out. Milan.
It's not just. That's not Bairstow running him out.
Coley.
You said Bairstow
Yeah.
running me out.
Yeah.
It's not Bairstow's fault. That.
It's Coley's, is it?
Well, no, it's no one's fault. You can't blame it on Coley. He's trying to run him out.
What did you reckon about the kiss?
Yeah.
I hate.
I think they're
that
sort
Coley.
of. He's like a footballer who plays cricket, isn't he? So there needs to be some sort of etiquette.
If you
the match referee just needs to speak to him.
if you
And just maintain a little bit of respect. You can celebrate,
they did
but
go and
just
chat to him.
calm yourself down a little bit.
they did go chat to him, and then the ICC have come out and said we're worried the way Test cricket's going, and I think that might be a hint towards
It's
Coley,
him.
Stokes in particular.
Right, yeah.
Calm
Well,
it
he's
down.
more... outside.
Yeah, Milan's not looking great, but bypass that, he's out of the team now. Couldn't buy a run recently. We'll talk about that later on in the episode. Bairstow, a good 70. He gets bowled by Yadav. And really, England make 2 scores, a couple of starts. Curran looks good with the bat. Butler had a bad game with the bat.
He did have a bad game with the bat, didn't he?
Got a good ball. Well, a weird one from...
It's been a while since Butler's
Ashwin.
not done something with the bat, though. So I don't.
He did well in the Pakistani series.
I don't think he's under pressure. So it happens sometimes. Have a bad game.
Stokes, that's one of the worst dismissals I've seen. That caught and bowled. It's a bit of a drag down.
It's a drag down, and then he's tried to turn it, and it's a leading edge. They look so bad because they're so soft, aren't they? But it's just, it does just happen sometimes.
And Sam Curran with a pretty healthy 24 at the back end. That's just what you need. And that gets England 287 all out. But England were at one stage 110 for 2 before Milan got out. And then we saw the old-fashioned run through the order, which we've seen a lot from England in the last 2 or 3 years. And that quickly brought England from 210 for 2 to 287 all out. It probably could have even been worse than that.
Ouch.
Without Curran. What do we do about this collapse of wickets in these?
I don't know. I don't know if it's...
Is it mentality or is it just...
I don't know.
It happens a lot now.
Yeah. But I'm not sure we can pack many more batsmen in. Do you know what I'm saying? It looks like they're all batsmen. Do you know what I mean? There's no Mo and Ali's there. Do you see what I'm saying? Stokes is probably your
Butler?
closest. No, Butler. I would count Butler as a batsman.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it's batsman heavy.
Yeah.
The problem is I think, apart from Butler recently, no one is in form and hasn't been for a long, long period of time now.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go to the toilet.
Oh, nice.
And your favourite podcast is back in action.
There you go.
Nice little break.
The last time I just kept on talking through the toilet break. Didn't bother pausing it last time.
I think that was a podcast. That was the Lost podcast as well.
Was it?
I think that was the Lost podcast.
Oh, I shouldn't have mentioned it.
Did you... No, we've done 2. I've gone through the toilet twice.
Have you?
They've both been Lost podcasts. The one was actually lost.
It's a curse. Good job you stopped it.
Yes, and
There
the
you go.
other one was podcast that didn't get lost. We might still... No, I think it's on my other computer.
Have we kept record of what the subjects were of the Lost podcasts? Were they rainy day ones? Because we need to keep the subjects. We can't just...
And the other one went to toilet break was the fantasy cricket where you had to pay for it. And we got to the end and we were like, oh, this is a really good podcast, but we don't want to pay £8.
Yeah, that's not so much lost as deleted. Or was that lost?
No, we just...
Decided not
I
to put it
actually
out.
should we put it out? And you were like, we can't. We picked this up the whole way. And then it was just... But what I think I edited your reaction of having to pay the £8.
Oh.
No, say that not because it was just you saying it. I didn't want to do it either. I thought it was a real Mickey take, actually. But I put that in the podcast. Maybe we should go back and listen to some of these.
Should we do a compilation of like best of?
We should have done that for the 100th.
That would have been good,
But
wouldn't
that
it?
might pee people off. Because remember the Simpsons used to do that?
Yeah, but we're not going to... Yeah, we're not quite
Do you know
at
what
that
I would
level
like to
yet,
do? I've been
are we?
thinking about... This is what happens when we take breaks. We go off topic, but I've been thinking about, like, you know how we got that comment? I can't remember who it's from, but, like, it's imprinted something into my brain. To, like, a little, like, grenade. It's all,
Right.
like, a little like, thing that's just gone in there. So,
Flair.
yeah, to say, like, why don't you bring out, like... You're bringing out gaming content, you're bringing out podcasts, but why don't you bring out, like, talking, but, like, not 30 to 60 minutes? Like little news bulletins or something like that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right,
I was thinking,
okay.
like, as one, we could go through, like, our favourite comments, because
Oh, right.
they're quite easy to
okay.
go back through, aren't they?
Yeah.
Be like, oh, here's, like, 4 or
I
5
reckon we
minutes.
should do, like, 2-minute little cartoons of us speaking.
I would love... if
Animated
I'd
cartoon
love
of
it if
us
we could
speaking.
animate. Oh, well, we said on the podcast, I'd love it if we...
How hard do you now to do?
To animate.
Yeah. If you did it really basic. It would take
don't know.
ages.
Maybe that could be something
And
for
we
you
could
to
just
do.
do it just one comment bit. Something I could do. Can I just write it,
Yeah.
draw it on a bit of paper, take a picture, rub it out, draw it. One bit.
Yeah,
move,
that might
picture.
take a long time.
Yeah, no, it would.
I think in the in like cartoons, it's very much easier to draw it on a computer and then to do it, or
Yes.
to like scan it in and then
Yeah.
animate them. How great would it be if we had another person for the Long Hot Cricket podcast, aka stand up?
Do you think you could get a piece of software off the internet, a free one,
To animate, yeah,
to do like basic animation?
yeah, you definitely could, yeah,
We should try later tonight.
yeah.
So I apologise for that. People don't know.
I don't know if
there's a
people can hear
podcast.
that.
Well,
They can barely hear Alexa when it's on.
what, someone just walked. Well, didn't walk past because we're in a bunker over the top of the motorway. But
So you're going to look into animation, are you?
yes,
Yeah. Thank God it's not there.
let's go.
Um,
Oh, you should wait, mate, until you see the animation of you. After all of the rips on me, can't wait.
Where were we? We were about to go.
We're
onto
going
the.
to India's first innings, isn't it?
Should we just wrap up with their bowling? Ashwin picks at 4. Shami,
1-1,
Looked good.
4-3, none.
Pandya. Not. I think Pandya could be the guy to go for Jadeja if it was me as the Indian selector / captain. Anyway, India's second innings, their reply of 274 all out makes for a very, very good game. Would you animate the dog? Every time the dog made that noise, you would.
But I'm thinking we'd only do we take one clip that's hilarious. Maybe to start with, just doing the intro. Like an intro that involves both of us and just animating that. So
So
if
are
the
you
dog
gonna
noise came in, you'd have to put the dog in there.
are you gonna do like a Long Hot Cricket podcast clipped up channel, like a new channel, just for like
no.
best
It's
bits?
going on the channel. They're just every now and then they're just popping up. If there's a funny bit from a podcast,
I
I'll take like
I
a
think it would be great.
30-second segment
Even if you did
and
like,
make a cartoon out of it.
even if you did like quickly 2-3 minute videos, like new content but animated them, that would be good. Like really,
It would be hard. I don't want to can the content. I want to take original podcast content and make a cartoon to match it.
What does can mean?
Well, I mean, it's in like we're doing this
Yeah.
deliberately to make an animation round.
Okay.
Would be different. Wouldn't
Yeah.
be as good.
Oh,
Well, it
nice.
might be. I just don't think it would.
Again, this is all it's in your realms because
Yeah, no, it's completely. I shouldn't be telling you.
274 all out. for
I'd
India in the
love to be able to animate.
first series. You know, it's only a matter of time until things do start to come together and we make this as a job.
No, well, I hope so. I'm planning on it because at the moment I'm living in dustbins. I'm sorry, mate. I just got to. It's for just because, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
a tradition.
You're like
on the
Stone
pod-
Cold, you are. You bang them together and all
Yeah,
sorts.
exactly.
Great.
Carry on.
But India actually make a good start. BJ 20, Darwin 26, and India start off at 50 without loss before the first wicket goes down. And 50 without loss are opening partnership in follow-up of 287 is a really good start, and you're thinking India could really
Yeah.
make England pay here.
Yeah.
But Sam Curran picks up the top 3 there,
He was getting it to shape.
getting it to move a lot, yeah.
My
Ooh.
only thing is, right, and this is just classic negative thinking.
Yeah.
The fact he only got it to move one way.
In to the left.
I'd
to
like
the right
it.
does,
Like
yeah.
I know that's fine,
Yeah.
but if he could just have something going the other, it
What
doesn't have to be to the same extent.
What do you say about that? Because he's bowling left arm over.
Yes.
He for the one that isn't swinging in, it's naturally going to go away from the right. It's going to go across.
Yeah,
the
you
right
will.
hander
You
anyway.
will have that, but I'd like the James Anderson where he starts it on their legs and it hoops out and takes the top of their
Yeah.
off. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just, if he wants to spend a bit of time in the nets practicing, add into the arsenal. But up to him, his
So yeah,
choice.
he's a young lad. I think maybe if you can consistently bowl 85 and add a couple of things to his game, perhaps
I am being sarky. He looked really good.
he did. Yeah,
And the ball did move.
but that is something he might want to do if he's going to go and play
yeah, he's got ages yet.
in Sri Lanka or
And he needs
Pakistan or whatnot.
Do more than he has.
Sam
yeah.
Curran picks up the first 3. Actually, Jimmy Anderson bowled well. Stuart Broad couldn't quite get it together in the first opening overs, but in the end, Curran comes through.
It looked like quite a nice bowling attack, actually,
Did you?
which we usually have a go at
Yes,
it. But it
'cause there's
looked
no
quite
variety, but it
sort
did
of
look
like
good.
it was like a team bowling attack.
And throughout the game, England, actually, all the bowlers did bowl well. All of them bowled well.
Because in the past, it has sort of looked like a
Jimmy Anderson show, yeah.
bodge together sort of.
And you're hoping Jimmy Anderson shows, and you're hoping Stuart Broad turns up,
Yeah,
and you're hoping that maybe Stokes
I
and
stopped
run through
hoping for that.
Kohli makes a massive 149 after being dropped twice. Dropped very early on by Milan, quite an easy one. Or was it
England dropped
Jennings?
quite a
Milan.
few catches, actually.
Yeah, Cook dropped. Was it Rahan, which ended up being fine in the end, but
Ended up being fine.
Kohli was dropped again by. I don't know, was it-
Milan dropped quite a few.
Yeah, Milan dropped. I think he dropped one in the second innings as well. But don't have to worry about that. He's not on the team anymore. Joe Root's not in the slips after being in the slips for a long time. He plays himself at like mid-on or mid-off, doesn't he? Normally
Doesn't
mid-on,
he
I
hurt his
think.
fingers?
Mid-on.
Hasn't he got a thing with his fingers, Joe Root?
I don't know.
He usually has a couple
Oh.
taped together. I wonder whether he just
And he's
doesn't
been
wanna
known to have a
bust-
bad back. Does the slips mean that you go down a lot? In it?
Maybe.
But Kohli, before this Test series, was targeted as a man who doesn't know how to play in England, but certainly,
Well, what was his best score? Like 46 or something?
yeah,
wasn't it?
lower than that, 30 odd.
It wasn't very
39
good.
something.
So
But he
that's
was
just
dropped
the
twice.
thing, innit? As soon as you bring it up, he goes and gets 149.
He was dropped twice though, so England did have to get him out 3 times in the
Doesn't
end.
matter.
Yeah, he made the runs, but England had to get out the best player in the world at the moment. Right? Can you believe this? Steve Smith's still in the ICC rankings. His name's still there. Take him out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Leave it. We'll do it as a podcast.
Because imagine if it's still in there.
I could
and-
talk about it for hours, mate. Leave it.
I'll leave it. So Kohli makes 149. Rashid finally gets him out, and he is the glue for that Indian innings. The whole Indian innings is based around a massive score by Kohli.
Yeah,
I hate Kohli with a passion, but he's a very, very good batsman.
very.
And to be honest with you, Jimmy Anderson, who they seem to have a bit of a rivalry, Jimmy Anderson bowled really well at the last India series in England, that is. And I saw a stat that Kohli played and missed at more balls in this innings than any other innings he ever played. Even innings he's faced 400, 300
Wow.
balls. So Jimmy Anderson,
Out of in some.
trouble at times, yeah.
Yeah.
And it looked a really good battle. Actually, a really one of those battles which was similar to that 2005 Ashes, Freddie Flintoff kind of
Just
style.
having a look at the scorecard,
Yeah.
James Anderson's economy.
Under 2, yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh my
isn't it?
god,
Yeah, it's
that's like
Mental.
unplayable.
absolutely. He bowled really well in that game. For a 36-year-old man, he's not showing that he's any signs of either not being hungry or slow enough.
Do you
or
reckon he'll
whatever.
play till he's 40?
I think Depends, doesn't it? Because he could have one injury that wipes him out. But he's really fit and he looks really hungry. And he obviously wants to overtake Glenn McGrath's record.
It's got to be fun just when you're still that good. It's about why would he stop?
In England, yeah.
Why would he stop? Do you think, right, what do you think would happen if he just said, I'm only putting myself up for England selection in England?
They'll be like, it's fine, mate.
Yeah, like, okay, thank you. Just don't retire.
But it's like Alistair Cook, isn't it? It's just like, give up the captaincy, but just leave whenever you want. We'll never sack you.
Yeah, they will eventually, but yeah.
Until like KP comes back and pushes him out. England probably could have actually got India out a lot earlier than 274 all out, because at one point India were 182 for 8 when Shami went, but Kohli, who did it really well actually, he kind of protected the tail and started to hit out.
Yeah.
Let's look at the
What did India end up on? 274.
274. So almost 100 runs scored in the last 2 wickets. Which is was Kohli, not anyone else really. Let's have a look at those wickets. Jimmy Anderson, 241. Broad, nothing in the first innings. Curran, a very good fourfer.
Fourfer's not bad, is it?
Rash picked up 2, which he only bowled the 8 overs. And got Sharma. Joe Root did.
He didn't look so erratic either.
No, he did bowl a few. I think it was 2 full tosses in his first over.
Yeah, but leggy, I'll give you some leeway.
Joe Root did come out and say that Rashid is going to play against the tail a lot.
Oh, right, okay.
That's going to be his deal. He's going to sweep at the tail for England. And he got out. Was it Sharma he got out in the first innings? Yep, he got picked up Sharma, and then he obviously picked up Kohli's wicket, which was a shot in desperation,
Big
if you
fish.
like. So England, about 13, 14 ahead at that point.
Pretty much nothing. And it was kind of cool because you kind of knew then that it was the pitch and the conditions, not that the game was finished. Do you know what I mean?
And I think that game, because it was swinging and swung
Yeah.
throughout with the Dukes ball, swung throughout the innings, not just the first 10, 15. It showed that that spinning question wasn't necessarily appropriate because the seamers could do it.
Yeah.
Now, England really didn't do great in the second innings, which looked like England had got themselves... I did send a tweet out saying, same old England are finding themselves in winning positions but not capitalising.
Yeah, it's like they saved themselves, didn't they?
Yes.
And then now they could go on and sort of go on and win, wasn't it? And then this second innings was like, oh, no, we can't.
So England, there's nobody...
Look at that, right? Look at the scores there.
So a 20, a 28 for Malan and Bairstow, 16 for Rash. England find themselves 86 for 6, 87 for 7. They were 70 for 4 at one point.
87 for 7.
Yeah, which is to get to, again, almost 100 runs. And that is for the last 3 wickets this time. And that is because Sam Curran played a brilliant 63. All right, he was supported somewhat by Rashid and Broad, but I think 2...
Did he get dropped?
Was
that in the first innings he got dropped?
Maybe that was.
I think it was in the first innings he got
or
dropped.
Was it? Did Kartik drop him when the keeper when he jumped across first?
I think he might have done.
That was second innings.
I think he might have dropped. Yeah. But anyway, he played really well,
which kept England in.
He started
the game.
Getting crazy as well.
Yeah,
like walking outside, like leg stump and like hitting extra cover drives for 6 and stuff.
He played that beautiful shot against Ashwood coming down the ground, hitting straight as well.
That was clean.
It was a good strike. That 63. Sam Curran, perhaps similar to like a Wokes.
Yeah.
So potentially, if Stokes is going to be out, which looks like he is,
Curran and
Wokes isn't a bad.
I wouldn't mind that at all. That's a strong tail, then, isn't it?
It is a strong tail, yeah.
Because you got Broad and Anderson, which are just gimmies.
So England are saved there from rather than 100 all out to 180 all out, but only giving India
it's sort of terrible to bad.
193 to chase down, right?
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well, looking at that 193 all the time in the world, perhaps not the easiest place to bat on, but It's not ripping fat spin. It's not going to deteriorate. It's not. There's no time pressures.
And England don't. I mean, if you're India in that situation, you think, who have we got to be careful of? You're thinking James Anderson. Thinking if England are going to do it, James Anderson he's going to be the man we're going to have to.
Course,
if we block it, if we take him out of the game, we should win this.
Which is what they've got to be thinking, isn't it? Really. But I'm still thinking India are favourites at this point.
Absolutely.
And
if they had it again, I'd put them as favourites.
Yeah. But Broad makes a good start. Picks up the 2 wickets early on.
Yeah. Those are massive. Once you get sort of 2 or 3 and they're still below 50, do you know what I mean? That's when you know you're in with a shout, even though you've still got loads of work to do.
Yeah. And then Stokes comes on, bowls really well, gets Rahul out.
But he just bowled full.
Yeah.
Stokes just bowled full.
Quick.
Yeah, he does bowl quick, but he usually just bowls it short.
86, 87, 88 miles per hour.
Just bowl full.
Quickest bowler we've got. And actually, he bowled really well. And it's a shame. Okay, we'll talk about Stokes at the end. But yeah, we'll get onto that. But that gets India 46 for 3. When Rahane goes, it's now 63 for 4.
Yeah.
And Curran comes on, picks Rahane. Kohli's at the crease at this point. You're just thinking, right, if we get Kohli out, it's got to be game over.
Yeah.
But there's even a possibility at 63 for 4 to just keep Kohli quiet and we could still win this game. They actually do something a bit strange. They push Ashwin up the order.
I think he's just... I mean, I'm pretty sure he got 90 against us. It was in India.
Yes.
But I think he does have the capability to hang about for quite a bit.
He's a very capable batsman.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's that weird.
I think what they were trying to do was saying, right, if you can make 20 runs out there, Ashwin, stay with Kohli for, 10, 12, 15
take
overs.
The pressure off a little bit.
Get the score under 100 to chase down.
Yeah.
And then we've got Karthik and Pandya who are
It's
their own
a
right
weird
batsmen.
one, though, isn't it?
I think it's just trying to take the pressure off that late order.
Put it on a tail ender. It's sort of weird.
You think when the coach turns around to Ashwin and says, you're in next, he's thinking, get away. You're joking, aren't you? Anyway, doesn't work out this time. Anderson picks up Ashwin, and that was a good ball, wasn't it?
It was a good ball.
Top of off.
It was a good ball.
And Anderson bowled really well throughout the game to not pick up that many wickets, if you like. He probably surprised about.
Yeah, he should have got 5 first, shouldn't he, for how well he bowled.
But when Ashwin goes, Karthik goes. Actually, a little bit of partnership with Kohli. 112 for 6. So there's still 80 odd runs to get at this point. 4 wickets left. And you're just kind of thinking, right, Pandya, who isn't been painted in the best light by journalists, fans and commentators in this tour, he's got to stay around there. Makes a 31, but the big wicket was Kohli. Kohli goes next.
Yeah, once Kohli goes, I think even India then feel they can't do it once Kohli gets out, and that's just, you're done then, aren't you?
Ben Stokes picks up Kohli, LBW. One that just kind of...
I think he sort of walked across, didn't he?
Yeah.
He just walked across, and it obviously, but he just missed it. It's one of those ones where they play that a lot, like walk across, and then it's on the pads, and they just flick it off the pads. But not to be.
Once he goes, it's very difficult then.
Yeah.
And England kind of pick
Clean
up
him
those...
up.
Even though Shah makes 11, it looked...
They're never going to do it.
Like England win by the 31 runs. A really good test match there. Stokes, Broad, Anderson, Curran, Rashid, all on the wickets. Stokes looked really good. I'm not going to condone his actions. He's been an idiot and perhaps should never play for England again. But because he's so good and the England team love him.
We need to see what happens, don't we, with it?
But it was nice to see him bolt because actually, in the past, me and you have said, his batting's coming along. He's actually being serious at the crease.
Yeah. And
it was his bowling that was letting him down. In this game, his bowling was superb and it was his batting that...
But an all-rounder, you just want one of them to come off, don't you? So,
and Broad found his feet and bowled well. Jim Innocent bowled well throughout. Curran great game. He actually picked up man of the match. Because
I'll tell you what I like
and
is
Rashford
that
well.
with this game is both teams. India should have won it, and England did win it. It's like it's not one or the other. It's not like, oh well, England are now going to get battered, or like India don't look like they're good enough to have come over and play in these conditions. Do you know what I mean? There's 4 more games, and it hasn't helped me decide on a favourite.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah. Both teams had really strong positions to win the
Yeah,
game. And it just ended up England pipping it.
I hope they're all like that.
Oh, it'd be great.
Would be ace, wouldn't it? And going
Amazing.
either way and stuff would be mint.
Talking about the future of this series, the next game starts on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
We see Wokes in, Pope in.
Yes.
Pope's a young 20-year-old lad. Gets very good on cricket captain, actually. I've signed him twice now. Gets really good on that game.
Moneyball.
And Wokes back in. Lots of people talking about perhaps bringing Moeen Ali and taking Rashid out because it gives you that extra batsman. But
No need.
let's not go down that trap
Yeah,
anymore.
let's leave it. Let's just leave it. We know we don't need to go there.
Wokes in for Stokes.
Woke Stokes.
But we need to talk about the batting lineup. We know the personnel, but where they're going to bat because there's no Milan. But the front 3 will stay the same, won't they?
Yes.
Number 4. Is it Johnny Bairstow? Or will Pope have to bat number 4?
I don't want to see Pope at 4. I don't know a massive amount of him. I'd like him to just be middle order. I feel like players do their best when they come in,
5
unless
6.
they're a proper opener or something like that. Yeah, that sort of that middle ground.
So Bairstow 4.
Bairstow 4 and give the gloves to Butler.
Would you say Butler 5, Pope 6?
No.
Pope 5,
Pope
Butler
5.
6?
Give him the responsibility.
Miss
Batsman.
somebody out.
Give him the responsibility. No, because Stokes isn't in,
Stokes
is he?
isn't in there. So if you're saying Bairstow to move at 1, and then Pope to go 5, Butler 6, Current 7, Wokes 8, Rashid 9, 10, 11, Jim Henson.
Like that,
All right, it's a bit of a
a
tell.
little bit weaker. But we don't know about Pope, but it's a smidge weaker.
And at the same time, Stokes didn't make any runs in that game, and neither did Milan, so
Yeah,
perhaps...
we'll see. It's interesting. I'm
Middle
not
game.
too... I hope they don't bodge with the spinning. If they don't bodge with the spinning, I don't mind that to change so
Attacking,
much.
yeah. No, I like
So-
it. It's fine.
It's all right. You all right?
I think I've got someone caught. Anyway, we've enjoyed this podcast.
Yeah, we have.
Keep your eyes peeled for
Moneyball. Moneyball. Ball of money.
Moneyball. Second
Yeah.
episode will be coming out soon. And then for the next podcast, which will be... I want us to bring out a... Obviously, we'll...
Probably be on Sunday, won't it? Because test matches don't go 5 days.
No. We'll be bringing out the second test review. And also, I want us to do a rainy day podcast on the ECB have picked the best team at the last... England played 1,000 tests, haven't they?
You're right, yeah.
And I want us to do a rainy day.
Okay, that would be
go
cool.
through
Yeah, nice.
they've done a first team and a second team. So
Okay,
we'll go through that at some
cool.
point. So we'll speak to you on the other side.
Cheers.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, bell.